Tell the audience what they were doing there, just so they understand our story.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Here they are just trying to go through what we've learned from the Twitter files. This is something that has not been covered by the mainstream media really at all. And these are a couple of journalists who have just been able to get access to these internal documents. These are the type of things that usually the media drools over. To get internal company documents of an important public company, of course we need to look at that. They're not looking at it. Only people like Schellenberger and Taibbi and Barry Weiss have actually been able to look at these things and present them to the public in a way that is understandable and shows the scope of the influence from not only media figures, but government figures trying to control people's free speech. And, this is the type of thing that has, I don't think, ever happened before. We've seen whistleblowers inside of companies before release internal emails, of course, but never has the whistleblower been a guy who paid $44 billion for the company, who seems to be much more interested in exposing these negative behaviors and in just getting us toward free speech than he is the actual financial future of his company. He doesn't mind if his company takes a hit, if we can get to something real here. And thank God he's done this. Of course, as you point out, the people in Congress don't seem to have the same interests.
Oh, my God. What occurred to me was, can't there be anything where people across the aisle say, I'm just going to listen. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to try to learn. And I'm not just going to resort to, well, the Republicans put this guy on, so I must be against him. What if what this guy is saying is of interest to your constituents, these Democrats who pounded Taibbi and Schellenberger? What if they actually have something deeply alarming to your fundamental principles as an American? Just to set it up, Dave, because you had a great piece on this yesterday. This was the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. Two witnesses, Matt Taibbi, longtime journalist for Rolling Stone, now he's independent, and Michael Schellenberger, who I love his backstory. He used to work for Greenpeace. He was out there on the boats trying to get people to, help save the environment. And then he worked for Solyndra to try to get those panels in all of our houses. And during the Obama administration was trying to get those grants and green energy, hardcore green energy guy. And from the inside realized, oh, wait, this stuff is not actually great at all for the environment. It doesn't work. There are serious downsides. Why did we demonize nuclear? That's something that could protect the land and really help clean up things. Why isn't the left listening to me? Wrote Apocalypse Never, has done On Fire TED Talks, ran for governor in California, but is not a hard partisan guy. And he's been doing great reporting now for Barry Weiss and others. Okay, so those are the two guys. So they take the witness stand to talk about what they found at Twitter in terms of the government cooperation, or really, it was willing cooperation before Musk, and Twitter to suppress views on vaccines, on anything the government was shoving out there that Twitter and the government thought needed to be accepted wholesale without any questioning.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my beats. So, I've been covering the Twitter files as they come out. So, I tuned into the hearing and I knew that there would be pushback from the Democrats because it doesn't make the Biden administration look good. When Representative Plaskett, in her opening remarks, these guys hadn't said a word yet. In the opening remarks, called them so-called journalists.
It was amazing.
I was stunned. Did you see the two of them? Taibbi and Schellenberger looked at each other like, did she really just say that? Like, is this actually happening? And it just got worse from there.
Meanwhile, she knows nothing. This is a delegate, Stacey Plaskett, Democrat, U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, first of all, take a seat until you represent an actual state. Okay, it was like an actual county or somebody who has actual voting rights on the floor. She didn't even know who Barry Weiss was. She's an idiot. She's obviously not well read. She hasn't done her homework. So, I don't why she's the ranking member. Why this person gets to question people like Matt and Michael. I know not, Dave.
It was absolutely unbelievable. And so-called journalist is not something you throw around. That's not like if you go to a restaurant and you don't like your meal and you say, I don't think the chef is very good. So-called journalist means you're a liar, right? It means you are intentionally deceiving people. It's a horrible thing to say. And no evidence was presented whatsoever.
No, she just didn't like their journalist. She didn't like what they had concluded in their actual reporting. So here's a sample, just to set it up. We've made the audience wait long enough, 10 minutes in. Here is a sample of what these Dems did to Taibbi and Schellenberger when they tried to reveal what they had found inside these Twitter files over the past couple of months.
Republicans have brought in 2 of Elon Musk's public scribes to these so-called journalists to release cherry-picked, out-of-context emails.
Ranking Member Plaskett, I'm not a so-called journalist. I've won the National Magazine Award, the I.F. Stone Award for Independent Journalism, and I've written 10 books, including 4 New York Times bestsellers.
Who was the individual that gave you permission to access the emails?
Well, the attribution from my story is sources at Twitter, and that's what I'm going to refer to.
Are you trying to get journalists?
No, I'm not trying to get.
Sources?
No, I'm not. So what we're getting is your dissemination, your decision as to what was important and not important in that, correct?
Which is true in every news story.
Now, the ranking member of the Committee on the Weaponization of Government is asking for your sources.
I never asked them for their sources.
Yes,
I did not ask for sources.
You know what?
I asked if they were talking to Elon Musk.
I just need a date, sir.
But I can't give it to you, unfortunately, because this is a question of sourcing.
So you're not going to tell us when Musk first approached you?
Again, Congressman, you're asking me to
Yes or
you're
no?
asking a journalist to reveal a
So then
source.
well, sir, I just don't understand. You can't have it both ways, but let's move on because
No, he can. He's a journalist.
No, he can't, because either Musk is the source and he can't talk about it, or Musk is not the source. And if Musk is not the source, then he can discuss
No one
his
has yielded. The
conversations with
gentlelady's out of order. You don't get
And
to
she's
speak
out of
every
order
time.
because
not
he's
recognized. The
interrupted.
gentlelady's not
Chairman,
recognized.
You're not recognizing my time.
He has not said that.
I don't.
By
What he has
talking
said is
about
he's not going to
Chairman.
reveal his source.
I ask you this because before you became Elon Musk's hand-picked journalist, and pardon the oxymoron, you crossed that line with the Twitter files.
No.
Elon Musk, it's my time. Please do not interrupt me.
You also said that you were invited by a friend, Barry Weiss.
My friend Barry Weiss.
So this friend works for Twitter, or what is her?
She's a journalist.
Sir, I didn't ask you a question.
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
I
Barry Weiss
interrupt?
is a journalist.
I'm sorry, sir.
She's a journalist.
So you're in this as a threesome?
There was many more people involved than that.
Oh my God. I should correct myself. That's Representative Garcia, Democrat from Texas. She's the idiot. She's the one who's the dope, who didn't know Barry and decided to go sexual. Well, she's got somebody like Michael Schellenberger, who's got 10 times her intellect, decides to lob that snarky comment in there, Dave, to cover up her own ignorance and not having any idea who Barry Weiss is. You'd think she would, because Barry made her name at the New York Times, which presumably this Democrat used to read at some point.
Yeah, and also is a key figure in the entire Twitter files story. I mean, did her staff not give her any information about this? You know, I was really struck when Taibbi said, "I'm not a so-called journalist," and I wrote this in my column yesterday. What I heard when he said that, I very distinctly heard, "At long last, have you left no sense of decency?" Because this was a McCarthy hearing. I mean, this was just as bad. It's chilling. You know, as a journalist, I was sitting there thinking, like, you know, if I write something that Democrats don't like in the Daily Mail or Fox News, like, are they coming after me? I mean, that didn't stop me from writing my column, but I mean, my goodness, this is frightening stuff.
Oh, you just gave me a chill, but you're exactly right, Stu. This is chilling. It is physically, literally chilling to journalists where you get hauled in front of Congress. Fine, these Republicans wanted them to talk about what they found. The Democrats were trying to smear them as liars, available for purchase, and dishonest under oath, based on nothing.
It's incredible. I mean, could there be a less likable group of people than who we see in Congress? They make me like Meghan Markle in comparison, which is saying quite a bit, particularly in this program. It's funny because you're right. Barry Weiss is from, the New York Times. Michael Schellenberger was named the Environmentalist of the Year. He did documentaries on CNN. Matt Taibbi was pissing off every conservative in America during the Bush administration and onward, and has been doing this for a very long time. These people have, in a way, a similar career arc as Elon Musk, in that, like, they were liberal icons, liberal heroes, people that the left absolutely loved, and then they had the audacity to step out of the narrative for just a couple of seconds to just say, wait a minute, this part of this is not true. I might still agree with you on tax rates and being pro-choice and 100 different other things, but let's talk about the truth here. We're supposed to be the liberals. We're supposed to be the ones who love free speech. At least that's what we were told a long time ago. And you see that once you step out of that narrative, and, Elon Musk, what was his step out of that narrative? It was wanting to open up his electric car factory during COVID.
Yeah.
Just that little step turned him from God to Satan in these people's eyes. And you're right. They just look like mean, petty, angry idiots.
Question. What's the secret to great skincare? Here's Mary and her husband from Faith, North Carolina, with the answer. She writes, quote, "My husband and I both noticed that our skin is softer and smoother after using Genucel products faithfully. Our skin looks brighter, our wrinkles look softer and less noticeable, and the bags under my eyes are less visible. So happy. Best of all, they're easy to use and apply even for my husband," end quote. Genucel's most popular package, that's all their best stuff, has everything for all of your skincare needs. Wrinkles, dark spots, skin redness, sagging jawline, dark circles, even annoying bags and puffiness under your eyes. And with its immediate effects product, you will see results in 12 hours or less, guaranteed, or you'll get your money back. Stop waiting. Try Genucel's most popular package for 70% off at Genucel.com. And for a limited time, their new probiotic extract moisturizer is included for visibly clearer and younger looking skin, free. Go to Genucel.com/MK60, Genucel.com/MK60. And for a limited time, any subscription order includes a free beauty box and free concierge shipping. GENUCEL.com/MK60. That's Genucel.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.